Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Sal. So today I am currently on the floor in my, I don't know what to call it, but whatever. So today I'm gonna show you my updated portfolio. Yeah, so I currently have the light on. So I just want to discuss how I got into UAL. I got into UAL because I sent in my portfolio. At first my portfolio wasn't strong enough, so they declined the offer, which is the one you saw at, I'll link it below, at my previous portfolio. But now they accepted this one, which was, I think, way better than my last one. You can comment below if you think it's better. I think it's better personally. It's my favorite. It shows my strength and my weakness. But yeah, the guy that interviewed me, I forgot his name, he interviewed me and said that there was some areas that I needed to work on before I got accepted to UAL for Chelsea College of Art. So yeah, this was a really fun way of me demonstrating my skills. And also, an advice I'd give to people who are going into UAL is make sure you have a development sketch of the process, of the design process that you have, because if you're just having like a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense, they won't accept you, because that's what happened to me when I created my first portfolio video. I just had a bunch of ideas and design ideas that didn't make sense and didn't show development or the process of my design or thought process regarding it. So yeah, if you want to go into UAL, if you want to go to UAL, make sure you show your design process and make sure it tells a story. I know you've heard that before, but you definitely have to tell a story regarding it. That was rude. But yeah, make sure you check and hopefully it works out. So yeah, so I'm going to use my small tiny USB to plug it on my computer and show you guys what it looks like. So yeah, okay, so because I couldn't get my portfolio from my USB, I'll just show you what I submitted from UAL to Pebblepad, just to see how it is, and hopefully yeah. So before I get into the portfolio, let me tell you that I recently got accepted to Chelsea College of Art, which I'm very freaking excited for, like, can you tell? But yeah, I'm really excited because I've always wanted to study like architecture, interior architecture, but because of mental difficulties, I kind of got distracted and thought that I wanted to do graphic design, when in reality I lost interest in architecture because I was told by people I was surrounded by that it costs like 7 years to get into architecture. So I was like, you know what, let me do something that is much simpler and closer to architecture. And also because of religious reasons, I thought that this would be best for me to study, because I'm not allowed to draw anything that has living creatures, so that includes animals, insects, people, and that's practically it. So before I studied interior design, before I applied for interior design, I applied for my master's in interior design from UAL, but I didn't get into that, so I thought it'd be best to do a graduate diploma. And also I applied for MA industrial design because I thought that I was interested in industrial design, because I had the skills and the experience for product design / industrial design. But it didn't work out for me because my portfolio wasn't strong enough, and I guess they needed more experience, like 3 to a year to like 3 years, whereas I had only like 6 months. So yeah, so I'm currently using my laptop. So here is the first page. The first page consists of me saying hello in an abstract way, and then the next page, let me see if I can scroll down. The next page is an introduction, which is who I am, my Robocop poster, my final piece, my contemporary design, Infinity Lamp, exhibition design, and completion, which were all numbered in pages. But for some parts I included and took out because some part I thought was appropriate and some part I thought wasn't appropriate for it. So yeah, my camera's blurry, but it's okay. I think it's because the lighting is right there, covering it. No light, no light. Okay. Also, here I showed them who I am. It says I'm 24 and a designer and an author, which I am. I currently have a book that I published called How I Found Happiness, How You Should Too. What happened to that book was that I am in the process of writing it again because I feel like it wasn't it wasn't up to par. It was more like a diary. So in the future I'll release a new outlook in that book that consists of a variety of like people that inspired me. I included artists such as Nicki, I included Mufti Menk, I included who else, Sunkiss Alba, I included a girl from TikTok, and I feel like they inspired me at the time while I was going through a deep traumatic experience. But for now, let's discuss this portfolio. Author slash designer, I left my CV. And then next, this is my favorite page because it shows my photographic process that I captured myself. I took this pictures myself. It was when I was in Birmingham, and it was inspired by just abstract architecture that I saw that I was inspired by, such as who Zaha Hadid, Francis Kere, and David Adjaye. So I thought, let me just make a collage of the photograph that I took. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that. And yeah, what else? It was inspired by Photoshop and InDesign. I created it. This is when I was doing graphic communication in BCU, Birmingham City University, because that's why I had a great interest in that. And since I wasn't drawing people, I thought I might as well go for graphics. So that was interesting. So yes, here's a picture of BCU. As a BCU, a picture of Birmingham architecture in Birmingham for a place called Ask Italian. The task was that we was meant to create a architectural what was it, magazine for a company called Architect. So I decided to create a collage of it, and it was inspired by Barbara Barbara Kruger, sorry. So yes, and then next here is my Primark shopping mall that I designed. This took me like a week or 2 weeks to complete because I wanted to have a shot on what it feels like to do architecture, because I might do that for my masters. I'm still not sure yet, either interior design or architecture, those two. But yeah, it was inspired by that. It was inspired by Zaha Hadid's curvy architecture building. I'll probably post it there or there, where she has a curvy building. And for me, my curvy building consists of poles to hold the grip of it. And it was inspired by a shopping mall that was in Peckham that looked old and needed refurbishment, so I just decided I'll design it myself and see how it would look. And yeah, here is the final piece for the outcome of a drawing that I did that was inspired by a company called Alsop. And wait, well, it was inspired by a company called Alsop. They created a architecture building in Peckham, which was a library. I really loved that library, like how geometric it was and how it was structured like a P, and it kind of looked like the dolphin from SpongeBob. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, yeah, it was really interesting, and I hand drew it myself. But I need to work on my 2-point perspective and my 3-point perspective, because when you see the sketch at the bottom, you'll see that I need to progress. So here for the third building of the architecture, the architect brand, I took both pictures and made it in black and white, and took another picture and made it horizontal, or was it vertical? Oh my god, I'm so embarrassing. Yeah, I made it mirror each other. And yeah, the guy that interviewed me in UAL, he really liked that picture, this picture to the left, because he felt like it was really abstract and it kind of showed what a design process is. Next, here is my book. I created this book, How I Found Happiness, How You Should Too, using my MacBook Air. At the time I was at a low point, but I'll discuss that in another video. I think I already discussed it in another video last time, so check it out. I'll probably link it at the top or at the bottom. And yeah, so here's the front page for the book, How I Found Happiness, You Should Too. I designed it myself. It kind of is similar to architecture, because of architecture you have to edit the outside of the building yourself, so I tried to make this look as disorganized as possible, because at the time that's how my mind felt. And then here's the back of it, and next here's the back of it included with the design that I created it using Canva. It was so simple. And yeah, next I have this RoboCup poster, which was my favorite poster because I created this while I was in uni, which won a brief. I think it's called 1988, which was I think it was a company that works for artists such as Kanye West and other people as well. This really inspired me, and they challenged me to accept constructive criticism, because I'm not really good with I wasn't good with constructive criticism, but now I'm better, because as a designer you have to, you know, accept those constructive criticism, because that's how you get better, and which is a thing that I felt challenging towards me. Next I have development sketches. I designed this myself. I saw a picture of it on Pinterest and decided to show the development of how I drew it. This is why I stopped doing graphics, because I felt like there was a lot of drawing of people, and because of like Islam and all that type of stuff, I just thought it was better that I do something that's closer to architecture and that I'll be pleasing with myself and with God. So yeah. Next I have the process of how I designed the poster for the company called 1988. It was called, I called it Alex Please Start because it was inspired by RoboCop. We had to pick a selection of movies that we wanted to create, and I liked RoboCop, so I just thought, let me create a movie. I'm gonna poster out of that movie. And then next I tried to make it futuristic but also inspired by the 80s, since the movie was based in the 80s, so I decided to include how retro the design was. And I also was going to sell this in my Etsy shop. Well, I wasn't too sure if you guys would like it, but I'll put a link down below to see if you guys want to buy it. So yeah. Next, here is the final piece for the RoboCop poster. I discussed this with my tutor, and at first I had like an image of like a broken glass behind the RoboCop, and my teacher at the time said that he wasn't too fond of it. He wanted me to get rid of that black frame because he felt like it ruined the process of the design and the beauty of it. And also I changed it from yellow to orange to pink and blue because I wanted it to symbolize his DNA and all that type of stuff. So yes. Here's a contemporary exhibition and light and design that I created. It's a short introduction to exhibition design and light and design, but this was an image of Tate, not Modern, Tate Britain in near where my uni's gonna be, so I can't wait. I'm really excited. Yeah. Feeling quite uncomfortable. Let me fix this. It keeps falling. Yeah, so next I have a pop-up store that I designed. This was also when I was in uni because we did a bit of exhibition design, and that was the main reason why I got into graphic communication, because I heard that they do exhibition design, but I didn't read it properly because that was only a small bit of the course. But anyway, I designed a Nike pop-up store and also a house rendering. I designed it using AutoCAD and used the mood board of how I wanted it to look. It consists of plywood and what else? Plywood and neon lights, and the mood for it was like futuristic but also contemporary, and that was the part I wanted to design because with art, I said art, with Nike it's more about futurism and contemporary art and all that type of stuff, so that's what I wanted to symbolize. So yeah. The next page is of my ideation sketches while I was in product design for a bit, but this was a design for a lamp that I thought of, an infinity lamp that I designed through the thought of my head. I thought it'd be easier to design that, so I decided to use that for interiors, and I had to sketch out how I wanted it to look. I was struggling a bit because I wasn't too sure how I wanted it to look. It kind of looks like a tap, but I didn't think of that. My cousin reminded me that it kind of looks like a tap. But yeah, that's practically it. This is my favorite part of the drawing right here. And then here's the infinity lamp that I did myself. It was inspired by red light therapy and autism, because one of my friends, his sister, has autism, so I was just thinking, and I was reading about Alba. She has a son who has autism, and she talked about red light therapy, and I was thinking, how could you make a red light therapy and put it in your home? So I decided to create a small infinity lamp that was about the size of this pillow, that could be brought up into your house. And yeah, that was the thought of it. And the final rendering, I created it using Fusion 360. It's a really great app. I love using Fusion 360. It's kind of hard to use because when I was using it with my dad, he was like, ugh. So I just thought that let me just include that in my design process. And then next, here's that from the infinity lamp. I wanted to make it more 3D, so I decided to use an exhibition design and design it. But first I sketched it out in like an aerial view to see how it looked, because I wanted it to look like a Christmas gift, and that's how it kind of looks from the start of it, like from the top, like bird's eye view of it. So I showed like a rendering of it and the exhibition design that I created using SketchUp, which is inspired by my infinity lamp. So yes, for my infinity lamp, if I do end up becoming successful, I think I'm gonna create that infinity lamp and yeah, sell it and make sure that I could use it for red light therapy. You guys should research about red light therapy. It's really good for your body, even if you have autism, and if you don't, then that's cool. But yeah, next, here's the vase or vase that I created, which is inspired by fruit. I created this very quickly because when it comes to me with design, I have a vision, and that vision has to be executed properly. So with that, it was inspired by apple because that's all I could see, which was this part, and I wanted to make sure you could hang it. So I decided to create a gold frame inside the vase so you could hang it anywhere you are. And that's practically it. It was inspired by my sketch, and this is my first art sketch that I sold. I showed that in a video before, make sure you check it out. And yeah, next, here is the last page. And for this page, it is the infinity lamp combined with the exhibition design, combined with my sketch and how I thought about the process. Yeah, the structure of the lamp was really good, and it was battery powered by electric. So yeah, that's practically it. And yeah, and here's the drawing of the bird's eye view at the top. So yes, I don't know if you can zoom in, but that's practically it. Yeah, back, this, oh my god, and I think that's practically it. And yeah, that's it guys. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and see you in the next one.